Dear child, this is a spiritual reflection, not a prediction. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Beloved soul, something has shifted. Not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. Like a car that has been circling the block for a long time has finally come to a stop. That image carries meaning. It speaks of waiting that has reached its end, of motion that can no longer be delayed, of love that has run out of patience with distance. Heaven is not whispering anymore. It is nudging. It is saying, now. And if you feel a strange change in the atmosphere around you, a quiet awareness that something is getting closer, this is your gentle warning to prepare your heart. This is the moment when patience turns into action. When love stops standing still and starts moving. When what was delayed finally decides to arrive without warning. Your soulmate has reached their limit. Not in anger, not in desperation, but in truth. They have waited. They have restrained themselves. They have tried to be strong by staying silent. They told themselves it was wiser to wait, safer to hold back, easier to pretend the feelings would fade. But instead of fading, the feelings deepened. Instead of disappearing, they grew heavier. Silence did not erase the connection. It refined it. It made it impossible to ignore. They have been restless for a long time. Their spirit has been unsettled. Every attempt to move forward without you felt forced. Every distraction eventually failed. They tried work, routine, other people, noise, busyness. None of it touched the ache. None of it replaced what they felt with you. Because some connections don't dissolve with time. They mature. They wait. They demand honesty. Recently, something broke open inside them. A moment they didn't expect. A dream that lingered too long. A sign that hit too close. A realization that if they didn't act, they might lose you forever. That fear didn't push them away. It woke them up. It made them understand that doing nothing hurts more than risking everything. They stopped waiting for the perfect moment because they finally realized the perfect moment is love itself. They stopped asking everyone else what to do. They stopped needing permission. They stopped negotiating with fear. They reached a point where the distance became unbearable, where silence felt heavier than rejection, where regret felt worse than vulnerability. So they made a decision, not a half decision, not a maybe someday. A real one. They are coming, not because everything is clear, but because their heart is clear. Not because they have all the answers, but because they know the truth. Not because it's easy, but because staying away has become impossible. They are coming unannounced because if they gave themselves too much time to think, fear would try to talk them out of it. They are coming quietly because this isn't about attention or drama. It's about obedience to what their soul has been screaming for a long time. This is between them, God, and you. Sacred, private, honest. They have rehearsed this moment in their heart more times than they would ever admit. They imagined your face, your reaction, your voice. They wondered if you would still recognize them, still feel it, still care. They wrote messages they never sent, practiced apologies they never spoke, asked questions they were too afraid to ask. But now they understand something simple and powerful. Truth doesn't need perfect delivery. It just needs courage. They may show up nervous. Their voice may shake. Their hands may tremble. Their words may not come out smoothly. But their intention will be undeniable. They are not coming to confuse you. They are not coming to test your feelings. They are not coming to disappear again. They're coming because they want peace. And peace can only exist where truth is spoken. They are tired of watching your life from a distance. Tired of wondering if someone else will take their place. Tired of loving you quietly and calling it discipline. They have realized that silence is not always strength. Sometimes strength is showing up. Sometimes strength is risking your heart. You may have felt them too. In dreams, in sudden thoughts, in moments when your heart softened without explanation. You may have tried to move on, but something in you kept listening. You may have assumed their silence meant forgetting, but your spirit never fully believed that. Because deep connections don't vanish. They wait for the right moment to speak again. This is that moment. This is why things feel accelerated now. Why time feels strange. Why what you thought would take months may happen quickly. Heaven moves differently when alignment happens. What was paused is now moving. What was delayed is now unfolding. This is not just a visit. It's a return, but not a return to the past. A return with clarity, with growth, with intention. They are not the same person who left things unfinished. The waiting changed them. The silence matured them. The longing refined them. They are coming back more aware of your worth, more aware of what they almost lost, more aware of what truly matters. You may feel unprepared. You may wonder why now. You may feel nervous, emotional, even overwhelmed. That's okay. This kind of love carries weight. It carries history. It carries hope and fear together. But it also carries healing. Because what they want is not just to end the silence. They want a beginning. A clean one. An honest one. One built on truth instead of hesitation. This is why it feels like a holy interruption. Because divine timing doesn't always wait until we feel ready. Sometimes it arrives to show us that we were being prepared all along. The softening of your heart. The lessons you learned. The strength you gained. None of it was wasted. So don't be alarmed when the message comes. When the call happens. When the knock surprises you. When their name appears where you didn't expect it. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself feel. Let yourself listen. Because what is arriving is not confusion. It is clarity. They are not coming with games. They are coming with truth. They are not coming to impress you. They are coming to honor you. They are not coming to take. They are coming to stay. The waiting is over. The silence is breaking. The distance is closing. What once felt far is now moving closer with every step. And when they finally stand before you, you will feel it. Not as chaos, not as doubt, but as recognition. Like something that was always meant to come home has found its way back. This is not the end of the story. This is the chapter you prayed for without knowing how it would arrive. And now it's here. Unannounced, undeniable, right on time. They felt it long before they admitted it. A quiet pull in their chest that never fully went away. A sense that something important was unfinished. That a chapter had been paused but never closed. They tried to convince themselves it was over. They told themselves to be practical, to move on, to stop holding on to something that felt uncertain. But real love doesn't respond to logic. It doesn't disappear just because you ask it to. It stays. It waits. It follows you into silence and shows up when everything else goes quiet. They tried to distract themselves. They filled their days with work, responsibilities, noise, and people. They told themselves time would heal it. That distance would erase it. That new experiences would replace it. But nothing replaced you. Nothing even came close. Every time they thought they were free, something pulled them back inward. A memory, a feeling, a sudden ache that reminded them of how real it was. They kept telling themselves stories to stay comfortable. Maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe you were too good for them. Maybe they weren't ready back then. Maybe they waited too long. Maybe you had already moved on, and behind all of it was fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of showing up too late. Fear of not being enough. Fear of standing in front of you and realizing how much they still care. They saw your strength, your depth, your patience, your heart, and instead of stepping toward it, they stepped away. Not because they didn't value you, but because they didn't trust themselves to show up the right way at that time. They didn't know how to love you properly in that season. So they chose silence. They chose distance. They chose safety over truth. But silence has a way of teaching. Distance has a way of refining. And time didn't make them forget you. It made you louder inside them. Your presence became more sacred, not less. They realized that the most real thing they ever felt wasn't a moment or a phase, but how their soul responded to you. Not to your appearance, not to your status, not to anything surface level, but to the peace they felt around you, the warmth, the sense of home. At some point, pretending became exhausting. Running started to hurt more than facing the truth. They reached a place where they could no longer deny what they knew deep down. That this connection wasn't imagined. That it wasn't accidental. That it wasn't replaceable. They saw clearly that losing you would be a regret they would carry forever. Something shifted. Not suddenly, but deeply. They stopped waiting for a perfect moment because they understood there is no perfect moment when fear is in control. They realized waiting longer wouldn't protect them. It would only cost them more time. So they chose courage over comfort. They chose honesty over hiding. They chose you over the silence that kept them distant. While all of this was happening inside them, you were on your own journey too. You were waiting in ways no one saw. You were holding hope quietly. You were praying, wondering, sometimes doubting yourself. There were moments you questioned whether you imagined it all, whether your faith was misplaced, whether you were holding on to something that would never return. But even in your tired moments, something in you kept believing, something in you kept trusting. Something in you kept whispering their name, sometimes through prayer, sometimes through tears, sometimes through a quiet ache you couldn't explain. None of that was wasted. Your faith mattered. Your patience mattered. Your waiting was seen. Now they are tired. Not tired of you, but tired of pretending they don't care. Tired of acting strong when their heart feels heavy. Tired of running from something that keeps calling them back. They don't need a reason anymore. Love is reason enough. They finally understand that you are not just someone they once cared about. You are not a memory they can outgrow. You are not a chapter they can skip. You are the promise they were afraid to face. You are the prayer they didn't understand until now. You are the one their soul kept pointing toward, even when their mind resisted. That's why their return feels different now. Because this time they're not coming for attention. They're not coming to test the waters. They're not coming to repeat old patterns. They're coming with intention, with humility, with honesty, with the desire to make things right. Their arrival may be quiet. It may be unexpected. It may not look dramatic or polished. It might be a simple message, a sudden call, a visit, a moment where your eyes meet and everything unspoken finally makes sense. And when they speak, you'll know it's real because it won't feel confusing anymore. It won't feel unsure. It will feel grounded, sincere, and clear. They may be nervous. Their hands may shake. Their voice may tremble. Not because they doubt their love, but because they finally understand the weight of what they're asking for. This time, it's real to them in a way it never was before. This time, it's not fantasy, not impulse, not a moment of longing they can run from when fear shows up. This time, they feel the responsibility of it. They feel the depth. They feel you. They've reached a place where caring is no longer light or careless. It's heavy in the best way. It carries consequence. It carries accountability. They know now that love isn't just how strongly they feel when they miss you, but how carefully they move when they stand in front of you. And that realization changes everything. It makes their breath shorten. It makes their thoughts slow down. It makes them choose their words with intention instead of urgency. They don't want to hurt you again. That thought sits quietly in the back of their mind, louder than any fear of rejection. They remember the moments they were unsure, inconsistent, distant. They remember the confusion it caused, the silence it created, the ache they left behind without fully understanding it at the time. And now that memory humbles them. It softens them. It makes them cautious in a way they've never been before. They don't want to come empty. They don't want to arrive with half-truths, with excuses, with promises they haven't learned how to keep. They've realized that you deserve more than words spoken just to ease guilt or quiet longing. You deserve presence. You deserve honesty that doesn't shift when things get uncomfortable. You deserve something solid, something rooted, something that doesn't disappear when fear knocks at the door. So they pause. They steady themselves. They let the nerves exist without running from them, because the shaking is proof of growth. It means they care enough to be careful. It means they finally understand that what they're asking for isn't small. It's trust. It's another chance. It's the right to stand closer to your heart again. They want to come with truth. Not the kind that sounds perfect, but the kind that is real. Truth that admits where they were afraid. Truth that acknowledges where they were wrong. Truth that Doesn't rush you or pressure you, but simply lays itself down in front of you and says, "This is me now." No hiding, no pretending, no running. And that's why their voice trembles. That's why their hands shake. Because this time, they're not just asking for love. They're asking to be worthy of it. They are done watching from a distance. Done staying silent while their heart is loud. Done imagining conversations that never happen. Done regretting what they didn't do. They are doing the bravest thing they can do now. They are showing up for real. No games, no confusion, no disappearing. Just presence. And the message behind it is simple and clear. I choose you. I still believe in us. I want to build again. So prepare your heart, not with fear, but with openness. Prepare your spirit, not with pressure, but with trust. Prepare your space for something real to enter. Because what once felt far away is moving closer. What felt delayed is aligning. And when it arrives, it won't just feel like someone returning. It will feel like peace settling where longing once lived. It will feel like an answered prayer finally taking shape. This is not about going backward. It's about fulfilling what was meant to be completed when both hearts were ready. And now, they are ready.